Right, let's go to the Australian Parliament. Pretty scrappy question time today. This could be the last sitting week we have before an election's called. I know we sort of are in that professional game of election watch at the moment, but what do you make of things?
I thought it was a dull day in the question time, frankly. I think everyone wants to be out of here. And this is the problem, the longer it drags on before an election, every single thing in this place is about an election, so may as well have one. But WA, of course, got in the way. There's no way the Prime Minister wants to get too much in the way of that. The big things next week, of course, when everyone here expects a rate cut. But, you know, it's a crazy game for Jim Chalmers and Katie Gallagher when we're this late into a preparation of a budget. I'm pretty sure that Jim Chalmers would be of the view, I just want to do the budget now because I've done all the work on it, and so have my officials. So if he junks that and goes in April, as a lot of us suspect, because there's a rate cut in February 18, he'd only go in April, Peter, if there was a rate cut in February 18, is my understanding, then Jim Chalmers and his officials probably have reason to be a bit ticked off, frankly.
Yeah, but everything he's costed for the budget to announce on Budget 90 announces during the campaign, his costings are a bit more bulletproof because they're Treasury costings as opposed to the opposition. And as you know, with PFO, you're 10 days in from the writs, and that's the first time the opposition gets a good look at the numbers. So, you know, it's a beautiful pincer movement for the opposition because they're stuck. You know, they're operating on a campaign footing with no real set of numbers beyond MyEFO in last December. So, you know, there's an argument to really screw around with their costings if you don't have a federal budget.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, as I've said before, the question will be, and I put it to him, what aren't you squibbing it if you don't have a budget? Which he said, no, we're not.
Are we going to get electoral reform through before the end of this week, do you think?
Yeah, Thursday, I reckon. I reckon the deal's been done, Peter, and it's one of the things that goes through in the Senate on a Thursday night because both sides of major politics get an advantage out of it. It kind of has an effect on Clive Palmer, the Caps, but it also has an effect from the Liberal point of view on the Teals and the Climate 200 and Simon Holmes Accord. So there's kind of a bargaining chip for each side, a win for each side, and that's, of course, the only reason the coalition would support it, particularly at this late stage. But it has that classic smell of something they're going to pass at, 10 minutes to midnight. They could probably pass it now.
Yeah, I'll just make that point that you made there about a Clive Palmer or a Simon Holmes Accord. It doesn't come into effect until January 2027, but it will cap individual donors at $600,000 a year, lower the public disclosure threshold to $1,000, and limit spending per candidate to $800,000. Now, in some of those teal seats, I know the seat of Curtin, for example, they spent over $1 million on that campaign. So that would bring Curtin back by at least $200K.
Yeah, and I think Josh Frydenberg and Monique Ryan both spent $2 million, right? So it would have that effect, no doubt, if there's more money for the teal in a particular seat, like Curtin, I think you mentioned. But I guess it's an even playing field at least. Like the Liberal Party couldn't spend more than that themselves in that sort of contest.